Comic book superstar Jason Aaron makes his landmark Batman debut in the pages of a brand new series entitled Batman Off-World. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of issue number 1 and find out together, shall we? So then, stop me if you've heard this setup before, but a derelict craft is floating in the endless dark recesses of space when a group of armed soldier types decide to come aboard and see what they can salvage. Only wait, what a twist, the armed guys in this situation actually turn out to be gross aliens, and the mysterious life form still aboard the ship is actually just the very human Batman who starts trying to dismantle these guys, even though he fully admits he's never seen this type of alien before, but figures, hey, if they have faces, they can be punched in them. As Batman quickly finds out, these aliens that he's beating up aren't just your regular old run-of-the-mill space salvagers, they're actually part of a dangerous group of intergalactic space pirates called the War Workers. Basically, these guys travel around the universe shanghaiing sentient beings into servitude for their never-ending crew. And once their newest members have been all chewed up and spat out, they sell you off to the mining guild to make a tidy profit, because we are in the Slag Galaxy, a place wherein resources like guns are actually quite scarce, so most of the members of the War Workers learn to kill people with their bare hands. So yeah, no guns, lots of punching. Batman's gonna fit in really well with these guys, I think. The leader of the War Workers pirates is a guy called Captain Sin, an absolute mountain of a man who Batman attempts to put the fear into only to get knocked on his ass after only 3 punches. Maybe it's because in this part of space they've never seen a bat before and don't actually know what Bruce is trying to be, instead thinking he must be some sort of flightless bird, or maybe it has something to do with the fact that Batman only remembers the first 2 punches. When Bruce comes to, he's in a prison cell with the rest of the War Workers rejects. It's there he meets a somewhat friendly Tamaranian by the name of Ione. Turns out this lady was actually part of Captain Sin's upper echelons, actually going out and doing a lot of the kidnapping herself before eventually she was found guilty of a crime that isn't revealed in this issue before getting locked up with the rest of the rabble. Ione sees that Batman's pretty tough. After all, most people would have died after getting punched 3 times by Sin, and she vows to try and help him escape. Only, here's our first big twist of the series so far. Batman actually doesn't want to escape. In fact, it seems like he's exactly where he wants to be right now. Even having spent $500 million of his company's own money just to try and get him out into space in the first place. Finally, a billionaire using his space money in a way I don't find stupid, or at the very least, more honest. It's after that Batman actually tries to keep his head down for a little bit as to not draw too much attention to himself. He soon realizes that the War Workers actually train on highly advanced combat dummies, one that Batman actually manages to defend after saving him from the scrap heap. This robot is hilarious though, because it's designed for the sole purpose of getting punched, and when it's not being punched, it just doesn't know what to do with itself. This weird Earthman continuing to be around this crazy, violent space pirate crew has people like Ione asking all sorts of questions. In fact, she's actually crafted a working theory, figuring to herself that the only reason a person would be willing to put themselves through this sort of hell is for someone they love. Batman, as per usual, is pretty cagey and doesn't give a straight answer, but we are actually treated to a brief little flashback. It seems that while back on Earth and in Gotham City, Batman was duking it out with the local Irish mafia, only to be shocked and amazed when the leader of this group called in mercenary help from outer space. Yeah, really. It's left a little open-ended whether this big alien is actually Captain Sin or just another member of the same alien race. Either way, it's heavily implied that Batman's fight against this thing did not go well at all, and that he's flown himself into space as to better understand his opponent and hopefully win the fight. The training dummy has also reprogrammed itself to better help Batman in this endeavor, and as the comic comes to a close, Batman gets hard to work trying to figure out what weaknesses might actually exist in Captain Sin's alien physiology. And so that was Batman Off-World issue number 1, everybody, and I gotta say this is a pretty interesting start for a brand new Batman miniseries. Lord knows, between all the ongoing books and the Black Label books, it's pretty easy to get burnt out on Batman, but when Jason Aaron, the writer of Scalped and Southern Bastards and Thor and so many of my other absolutely favorite comics, decides to come and play, it's a reason to stop and pay attention. Not just because this is his first time writing for DC Comics since forever, but also because the dude just, knows how to make good books, or at least books that speak to me on a personal level. Honestly, I actually respect Off-World for its simplicity. Batman goes to space where he has to learn to punch aliens really good. Beyond that, there's a nice nice feeling about taking the character out of his comfort zone where he's not instantly the best and doesn't instantly know everything. Hell, the aliens don't know what bats are even. Batarangs don't fly as good in space, his knockout gas doesn't knock out all sorts of aliens, or at least not for long. So if the Dark Knight wants to win, he has to buckle down and get really good at the fundamentals. Again, it's simple, but it's a sweet simplicity, and it's certainly a story that I'm gonna want to cover and see what happens next. Overall, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. Good stuff. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.